A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The dungeon labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
When Alex became a god, he thought he would have no problems at all. Until... he landed in the Divine Dimension and was tasked with protecting the entire multiverse.
Am I connected to every single Alex Ambrose that ever existed?
Alex could travel across dimensions, defying the laws of time and space, to help other Alexes throughout the multiverse. But then everything changed.
No! Aw!
I have to go back and save them.
But if Alex went back to the mortal world, he would relinquish all of his power and his memories.
I don't have a choice. I must go back.
When Alex returned back to Earth, he goes back to being your average business tycoon millionaire, unaware that the people he cared most about are in danger.
Aw! Someone help me!
Yvonne, what happened?
I was attacked by a monster. Alex? What's going on? Get away from him! He is my boyfriend!
Who attacked Yvonne in the forest? What will Debbie do next? Who will Alex choose between the two women? Will Alex ever remember who he was before traveling into a different multiverse? To hear what happens next and whether Alex can stop the deranged monster before he strikes again, listen to the original audio drama, Insta Millionaire Returns, only on Pocket FM. Download the app now and find out.
Presentation.
It's time for week number 5 of the Special Stage Pro Truck Series, and for the first time in Turn 200's history, we are here tonight at the former Wild Horse Motorsports Park. It is instead at Firebird, I guess the new-ish name for this just barely over a half-mile 6-turn circuit here in virtual Arizona. Welcome into Turn 200's coverage of the Special Stage Pro Truck Series. It is Tommy Cook, as always, flanked by Mr. James Watson, the multi-time Pro 2 Light official champion. Partner, this is a track that's it's on the schedule. It sounds like most of the drivers have feelings about this circuit, and watching practice, I can kind of see why. It looks to be a handful, to say the least.
Truly one of the off-road tracks of all time.
Why is that?
There's a lot of difficult corners on this track. It's really hard to get a good flow going. There's always something that kind of interrupts your rhythm. You've got the long, wide turn 1, which is basically a 90-degree left-hander with a lot of different lights you can take. And then you go into my favorite corner on the track, which is the first hairpin. You know, you get through it normally, But then you have the second hairpin right after, which doesn't give you a whole lot of time to set up for it. You have the whoop section that was designed by Satan himself, where it never feels like you can get through it well. It always upsets the truck in some way that makes it just hard to get through it, regardless of what you're driving, whether it's the Pro 2 Lite, the Pro 2, the Pro 4. Typically, you'll see a lot of guys just kind of drive around them, just skip it entirely. And then you have the big bank bull corner right here, which should be a lot of fun, but the problem is you're so discombobulated through getting through the whoops however you choose to do it, that you can never really get a good entry in for the most part. And then the tabletop jump going right at the start-finish line. Because of the momentum and the line you're taking off of the exit of the bowl corner, you're always kind of tracking out up towards the wall when you're taking the jump and flying through the air. Which I don't need to tell you doesn't end well oftentimes, especially if you're side by side with another truck. So you're usually having to do a lot trying to make sure you can get the truck to land and keep it out of the fence.
Well, that was a good lap for Connor Berry, who will be here for the first time here tonight. Bristol Dirt last week. We'll quickly take a look at the point standings. Edmondson and Winkler were not here last week. They are here tonight. Big jumps in the points for James Lehman and Greg Johnson, Mark Greco as well. Lehman not here this evening. The other feature winner from last week, Ryan Dye, is here tonight. But this whole left side of the leaderboard, I believe, save for Mark Greco, is going to be in action here this evening, though. But it's still Edmondson leading Winkler, as it has been since the very first week of competition, by exactly 100 points. It is time for tonight's starting grid. Remember, 2 races on tap, and we'll give you the starting lineup for round number 1 here, straight up off a qualifying pace. It is Josh Edmondson. Not a shock to see him back on the front row here. Connor Berry, then another World Pro Class driver, rather, with the black license, will line up to his outside. Sean Winkler, Joey Herbie then on row number 2. It's Matt Schlosser and Joey Kirk on row 3. Josh Heggie and Greg Johnson, row 4. Stephen C. Thompson and Milan Vlakovic will be your top 10 starters here. Only 15 here tonight. The rest of the starting lineup is Joshua Maticek in 11th, Ryan Dye in 12th, Rodney Matney, Victor Aldrich, and Colin McDonough. We'll get to the chopper cam like we usually do to start off these races. Standing starts at the start-finish line. 25 laps for both of your races here tonight. This is, I believe, 0.55 miles, just a tick over half a mile. That whip section is going to be devious here with a lot of side-by-side traffic after the first 3 turns here on the opening lap. There you can see the weather conditions out in the desert in Arizona. And we had a track state refresh after qualifying, and that is going to be it for the rest of the night. So this track, especially with the warm-up period in the middle of these 2 races where people will go and goof around in preparation for a full field invert, this track is going to get beaten up. I think somebody said getting down to the bedrock is the plan here tonight. We'll see if that happens. We'll see if the field will even make it through round number 1 first. 25 to go. We're off and running. Here's Barry and Edmondson side by side headed down to turn number 2. Barry trying to hook this inside here as they are beating and banging behind them. But Edmondson will come out ahead, and now we'll see everybody trying to avoid this whip section. Barry going to go right through it and try and take it to the inside line. Slides up right to the door of Edmondson, but the long way around for driver 58 is going to put him ahead across the stripe here on lap 1. Pretty clean opening lap for the most part. Nobody tumbled on the track or in the running order there. Still plenty of racing to go, though, as Edmondson leading. Winkler now back in 3rd. This is Joey Herbie in 4th, Joey Kirk in P5, Josh Heggie, Matt Schlosser, We've been having some problems with our scoring here this evening, so hopefully these boards will stay active and accurate as Barry.
Wow.
Looking like Tom Menson Maximum Destruction there. Landed on the right front wheel only, heading into the final turn.
Yeah, I'm really curious to watch this battle for the lead between these three, especially with Connor Berry joining the series. Connor is not just a black licensed pro class driver, he is also the reigning pro iRacing pro truck world champion. So needless to say, Connor Berry knows his way around this track and in these trucks, and he's also a Pro 2 Light racer in real life. So he really knows what he's doing out there.
Certainly looks it so far. As if those credentials weren't enough, you get to see it with your own eyes as well. Just with the line these guys are taking off the course, it keeps saying that they're crashing. And it's really funny because these guys look very much in control. A little bit further back here, not quite as much, as some people are still trying to figure out their way through the whoop section there. Hello to Bailey Marie and Robin Modicek both. Barry sliding it in deep, trying to hook that inside there. I mean, almost photocopies of one another.
Yeah, the lap counts that all three of these guys have here is probably astonishing. The amount of experience they have, and it's just absolutely on display. Oh man, who was that? Rodney Matney going super wide after the whoops.
Colin McDonough, Ryan Dye, Rodney Matney, Victor Aldrich, they're all right back here. Just to show you how not easy this is, as there goes McDonough off the tabletop into the catch fencing. These three make it look very easy. And Joey Herbie there as well, to a degree. But I mean, Edmondson looks calm, cool, and collected up front, and this is no joke.
Yeah, and it speaks to the skill set because it's very much not cool, calm, and collected when you're in the truck, especially going out over the whoop section. Especially in the real-world drive Pro 2s and Pro 2 Lights, because if you're not careful with your throttle application over the whoops, the truck kind of launches all over the place, and you're kind of not sure where you're going to land over each individual whoop. So that's why you see a lot of the guys just kind of like weeble wobbling over the whoops, because all the throttle they have in it and where they have the truck pointed, it just kind of launches them off in whatever direction they land. So if you're not careful with how you're taking the initial ascent over the whoops, it throws you off all over the place. And that's, like I said, that's why you get all the back and forth and the strange entries into the next corner. You're just basically holding on for dear life. It's not as bad in the Pro 4 because you have, the four-wheel drive, keeping you in the same direction for the most part. But with the light and having just really the rear wheels under power, it just kind of messes up that landing so much if you're not careful.
These three really are the closest for position that we've got on track right now. Mladen Lakovic and Josh Hagee are getting somewhat close together here for spot number 8. But it's really Barry trying to put in the work here to catch up to Josh Edmondson, who has led them all this far. 16 laps to go in our opener. Then we'll invert the whole 15 truck field here this evening and do it all again.
Yeah, you can kind of expect that here, which you honestly really wouldn't expect, because of the fact that this track is so short, you expect everything to be a lot closer because there's a lot less room for error. But because of all the different things that you have to worry about on this track, you have so many more mistakes you can make. And that's why we see such a big spread in time over everyone, because you lose so much time so easily.
We're just on Colin McDonough. You can see him on the right side of the shot there. We will have some lap traffic here in the next few laps. Just another wrinkle here with, I mean, in some of the turns there's plenty of room to operate, but certainly you're going to have to put your truck in places that you don't want to if you catch them in some of these weird spots.
Yeah, if you catch them entering the whoops, or God forbid going over the tabletop at start finish, oh, many a times I've seen trucks try to be side by side over the tabletop, only to watch one or both of them suddenly disappear, because that fence comes up a lot quicker than you think.
We're watching Josh Heggie, winner at Wild West in round number 2 of the season, trying to get closer to Matt Schlosser there. Oh, and Connor Berry has had a problem. Berry is off the track and is going to tow back to the pits. Running in second, trying to track down Josh Edmondson. What has happened? Gotten so used to it just saying that they've crashed. I wasn't expecting them to actually crash here. Berry trying to take the whoops. Catches it, and right into the concrete blockade there. Assuming in real life there would be some kind of flagger standing there, but that is where that truck is going to come to rest. Trying to make a move and get to the inside of Josh Edmondson there, and that is going to cost him his whole opening race, but it will put him on the pole here for the invert.
Yeah, and having that invert pole is going to be a huge advantage, because passing is not going to be easy. We say it like every week.
Yeah.
I think this might be the track on the schedule where you really mean it. It's not going to be easy.
This is Joey Herbie nestled up against the inside wall here, and he is not going anywhere. I saw him jump to the lead, but that's just because he apparently cut across the course. So Herbie now going to tumble through the running order. And I want to say as well, as I'm hearing the weather picking up outside of my house, I am in the middle of a thunderstorm right now, so if the stream stops all of a sudden, that would be why. We'll figure it out if that does indeed come to pass. But everybody send some positive energy to the folks in the Midwest here, and also to the Mid-South tomorrow, because it's not going to be fun the next couple of days. But it's fun for Josh Edmondson right now, enjoying a 1.7 second lead back to Sean Winkler. Joey Kirk is running in third. Greg Johnson in fourth. Matt Schlosser is pulled away from Josh Heggie. Schlosser having another top 5 run here tonight. Heggie in 6th, Lakovic in 7th. Stephen C. Thompson running in 8th. 9th place right now for Joshua Maticek and Ryan Dye, holding the top 10 in the Bluey truck.
I'm disappointed. I was rather used to that pickle truck he was running. I guess we now have a more family-friendly version of the Ryan Dye hood cam.
I guess so. That's Josh Heggie in 6th. Just dropped back to 9th. And wow.
Yep. That's a perfect example of what happens if you don't aim the whoops correctly.
Heggie, I mean, it just kind of steps out on him. Angled it into that corner weird, waited for Maticek to get through, and we'll watch him like a wild horse here. Maybe, is that why they called
Boing,
that?
Boing!
A bucking bronco. Shout out to Stickers McQueen. Rodney Matney running back in P12. We'll show you that the gap for the lead has not changed all that much. Winkler has cut into it by about a tenth, but he's still got a second and a half to go. Coming to 7 laps remaining here in our opener. But lap traffic now ahead for Edmondson. We'll go true kick pot here. Show you the visor that he's working with right now. A little dirty. I would have hit the tear off button about 3 times at this point.
Yeah, no kidding.
But I'm sure if a driver of this caliber is able to just kind of look through those. Gap's continuing to close. It's down to 1.2 seconds. Winkler behind here. I'll show you giving chase. It'll be 5 to go this time. 2.5 miles left in the opening round of the evening. Here in the Diamondback Derby. Hasn't been much of a derby here thus far. Anybody that bet on the under for the flip count might actually walk away with a little money here.
Yeah, it's been a really calm and straightforward race.
We say that now.
Yeah, I think I think the invert is gonna spice things up pretty significantly.
Just as quickly as Winkler was closing that gap, Edmondson back out to a 2.5 seconds up front. Not much of anything going on here. Hagee trying to make up some lost spots. He'll pull up to Joshua Matacek here looking for P8. I think you got good drive there. To the bank left-hander. He's still with a run. Are you afraid of landing on somebody there on the tabletop? I mean, we've come awfully close here a couple times.
Yeah, the way you launch over, it's really hard to see where exactly you're going. So you see trucks land on each other in the tabletop a lot. And that's also why I bring up the fence, is because you can't really see where you're landing if you're not already kind of stirring up where and what attitude the truck is going to land with. You can easily just launch straight into the fence, because like, see, you can't see anything. You're just hoping and praying that you're landing in a safe spot and you're not by that fence or by those little concrete barriers that are like right kind of in front of the flag stand. Those are really screw things up, because you just catch them that little bit, and it's enough to kind of pull your truck over to the fence.
Just behind this battle for 8th is Mr. Josh Edmondson with a 2.5 gap through the final turn. Looking to take his 4th checkered flag of the season, and he'll do it. Across the stripe, it's official for the 58. Edmondson, your winner. What do you know? Sean Winkler in 2nd. Joey Kirk working through the whoops right now with a 4-second gap back to Greg Johnson. Kirk will shore up a spot on the podium here. Here's Johnson in 4th, and Matt Schlosser, the next driver in the running order, in P5. Lakovic in 6th, Steven C. Thompson in 7th, and then Matacek 8th, Heggie in 9th. Ryan Dye will round out the top 10, the first driver 1 lap down. But it's official for Edmondson, win number 4 on the season, and he'll go to the back of the field as a reward. Tried to pull off the backflip there, I think, and couldn't quite get it done. But 4 minutes to dissect what we just saw there, and I would say, as an outsider, that looked like an unusual race just because it was fairly calm. A couple of surprises, especially with Connor Berry trying to mix it up there and paying for it right away. But, I mean, carnage was not as much of a factor in that one as I was quite expecting, to be honest.
Yeah, and it's not as surprising for Firebird for a race to look like this, because honestly, there really isn't a whole lot of in between. It's either clean and straightforward or chaos, like I mentioned earlier. Because of all the different areas that you can make mistakes and lose time, you get a lot more field spread, so you don't really have trucks around each other a whole lot as you would think. So, and unless something massive happens, which it could very well could, especially with how close to the walls you're getting in certain areas, but unless that happens, you're not gonna really be seeing a whole lot. Like, I've had many a boring race here, just as I've had many a stupid, chaotic, what even was that race here.
We're riding on board here with Rodney Matney, and we mentioned the track state is not going to change here. Already some slick spots in the big bank turn. I mean, how much is that going to affect what we're going to see, especially since passing already proving to be difficult, and all the fast drivers now, or the fast drivers from round number 1 anyway, are going to the back of the field and are going to have to make a lot of passes to make up positions.
Well, that's the thing with the trucks is, unlike the dirt cars, the worn-in sections on the track, it's not, it doesn't really hamper. It actually kind of helps. Yeah, they grip up more because of that added grip. It's not like ice like it would be for a late model or a sprint car. So you actually are wanting to kind of look for those grippy patches. So it's hard to say if it'll make a difference in passing. I don't think it will be, but it won't be a hindrance like you would think.
And while we got a minute as well, just made an exciting announcement that Special Stage, the Pro Truck Series, is going to be rotated in and out, at least temporarily. The next season of Special Stage is going to be the Joker Series, as Rodney running the tabletop here on the Big Bank Corner. We're running an IndyCar all-pack racing season. I think 6 rounds of basically super speedways, if you might as well count Michigan as a super speedway in this case. It'll be broadcasted by our friend. For anybody that remembers the Mission Arm Challenge, one of the names that was always at the front of the field was Olivia Hayward. Olivia and JCTV are going to have the coverage of the Special Stage Joker Series. All Indy cars, all super speedways. I think it's Talladega, Atlanta, Daytona, iRacing Super Speedway, Michigan, and Monza left turning oval. There's probably another one in there that I'm forgetting, but that is going to be quite interesting. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that as somebody that's run a lot of super speedway racing here on the channel, but also a lot of Indy cars everywhere?
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of death, a lot of destruction. Just going to be so many tarps on the racetrack, especially Monza Oval. Like, someone is going to hit one of the walls there, and it will be just carbon fiber everywhere.
Brought to you by Gushers. At least it's not Monza right turning oval where you would ramp up out of turn number 1. Yeah. All right, we'll get to the starting grid here for the invert for round number 2. And it will look like this. The driver on the pole, Connor Berry, after the unfortunate incident. Boy, he'll be looking to check out here right quick. It will be Joey Herbie to his outside, Colin McDonough, Rodney Matney on row 2. I mean, Joey Herbie here started in second is going to be interesting as well. Victor Alder, Try and Die, row 3. Josh Heggie, Josh Omadacek on row number 4. Row 5 will be... Oh, gosh, I just lost where I was at. Stephen C. Thompson and Mladen Lakovic. Matt Schlosser, Greg Johnson, Joey Kirk, Sean Winkler, and Josh Edmondson starting back there in the 15th position. Oh, man. Engines are ramping up here. About 5 seconds until we see the drop of the green flag for a final race of the night here at Firebird. Oh, not a great start there for Herbie on the outside. Barry with a clean getaway. Here's an aggressive move from Colin McDonough. He throws the right rear in there, but Herbie around the outside will take the second spot back. Oh, that's Barry. What happened to Barry from the lead all the way to the tail? And look at this. Oh. 4 wide and all sorts of rubbing and tugging, as Matt Williamson would say. Oh, one car up on 2 wheels. And
there it is. Oh, that's and it's Edmondson Winkler.
Oh my goodness! His foot in it and taking Stephen C. Thompson with him, but Edmondson and Winkler, after the first lap, are at the back, and it's Joey Herbie that is leading this field back across the stripe.
Wow!
Oh my Lord!
What a turn of fortune for everybody.
Here's McDonough riding in second. Rodney Matney's in third. Greg Johnson has taken care of himself here on the invert. He's up to fourth. Ryan Dye hanging inside the top 5. Ooh. Matney looking for the fast way through, and there's one.
Oh no, someone hit the wall.
Lakovic into the wall. He will lose quite a few spots now. Stephen C. Thompson around as well. Edmondson, I mean, this is the most we've ever seen this truck torn up. Winkler ahead of Edmondson for the time being. Well, I think we spoke it into existence. We got the Daytona duel situation going on as Johnson into McDonough and turned by Matney. Dye will help correct course for the 150.
That could have ended very poorly for it. Oh no!
Matney and there goes
the Ryan Dye hood cam.
It's back. I don't get it. Well, all this has allowed Joey Herbie to get to a 6-second lead. I mean, one of the biggest of the season, if not the biggest outright. Heggie riding in third, Johnson in second. And we got to wait for things to settle down a little bit. Here's Winkler going at it with Modacek for spot number 11. We'll take some replays here in just a couple laps, I promise, as soon as Edmondson nearly buries it there into the 60 of Modacek.
Yeah, Modacek showing that truck is Tonka tough, trying to survive all that. Look at that.
I think Modacek is Tonka tough as well. That's quite the sandwich to be the meat of.
Yeah.
I would imagine Edmondson probably driving pretty frustrated at this point. But, I mean, that's always been possible. It just hasn't happened up to this point this season, where the 2 fastest drivers at the back of the field get caught up in the chicanery on the opening lap. They are still all clumped up here.
Yeah, we're getting the full Firebird experience. First race was meh, single file, can't really do a whole lot. And the second race is on bath salts. It's like they heard us talking about it not being it being straightforward and was like, all right, hold our beer.
Well, there was Joey Kirk going through on McDonough. And Ryan Dye going to get through here as well. Oh, my Lord.
Oh, no.
Rodney Matney, they are 3 wide. Through the whoop section. Oh, boy, Dye.
Oh, man.
And they're still 3 wide. That's Winkler up the middle.
Oh.
What a move for Sean Winkler.
Oh.
He's got 100-plus points to make up somehow on Josh Edmondson, and him making these aggressive moves is him trying to get away from his championship adversary as he is still stuck in the traffic behind. But now he'll only have Ryan Dye to get through. Oh, and Matney collision there with Lakovic, who is getting used up just like everybody else here. All right, I'm going to start making the move here to start scrolling for our first lap accident, which happened right there in that particular turn. It's still Joey Herbie with nearly an 8-second lead at this point. So you're not missing anything up at the front of this field. Greg Johnson in second, Josh Heggie in third. We'll see if this is even the right one. I think this may have been the lap after. Yeah, because of all the damage already.
Oh, that's what put Steven around.
All right, here we go. We're riding with Edmondson. This is the scene in front of him. Lap 1, turn 3. They're already slow. That's Winkler getting tagged there by Joey Herbie. Edmondson and Winkler, now Kith. And let's back that up and go back and see what Matt Schlosser and Stephen C. Thompson had to endure as well.
Yeah, Schlosser with the Stephen C. Thompson antenna ball, just carrying it with him.
Well, that derailed both of their races, but you can't say it wasn't funny. All right, here's Sean Winkler, who caught a weird rut there, and now Connor Barry is going after him. Barry after his problems from the lead in the opening lap as well. Edmondson, Winkler, Barry, and Joey Kirk. This is a four-way battle for fourth. Winkler sends it. Barry sends him. Kirk on the outside through the whoops. He may lose 3 here, and he will. Oh, my. 4th to 7th. Just from getting run out wide there by Winkler. Now, this is quite the train here.
Well, I think we all expected these 3 to be together again on track. I just think we expected a little different scenario and maybe some extra body panels.
Body paneling, yep. Well, here's the deal. They've got Josh Heggie 5 seconds up the road for third. Another second in front of him is Greg Johnson, and then it's 8.5 seconds up to Joey Herbie in the lead. So Herbie's sitting pretty for now. Johnson and Heggie may be feeling the pressure a little bit as Barry getting tangled up there. It's going to allow Edmondson to get through. And Joey Kirk is staying close by in case these 3 really start to get after it. Oh, Edmondson. Oh. Barry with some contact there as well, as Edmondson was a bit out of shape. But that does open the gap back up to Barry.
Joey Kirk was almost able to take advantage of that.
And again, these are the closest drivers on track for position. Matt Schlosser is closing in on Mladen Lakovic. In fact, rather quickly he is, and this is for spot number 11. It's just showing an issue for Greg Johnson. And indeed, he is backed right up to Josh Heggie. So Heggie will be looking to take advantage here. We're going to try the horizontal ticker and see if it has sorted itself out. Free up a little space in the shot. I think it has. Praise be. Still not very happy with SDK Gaming today, but at least it's fixed itself for round number 2 of the night.
Better late than never.
Yeah, why not? Peek back at Edmondson and Winkler here. Half a second separated, just a couple truck lengths. And they are gaining on Heggie and Johnson. Johnson losing out to Joey Herbie. He's got a 10-second lead.
Yeah, as unfortunate as whatever happened to him in the first race, I don't think we ever went back and saw what happened to him, but at the very least it helped him avoid all of this carnage.
Not sure either. He just sort of ended up in the pit area. Didn't even really denote a crash for me to go back and look at. But you're right, he took advantage quite well. And his lead continues to grow.
Yeah, the clean air is huge. You know, clean air in the sense that clear track to just focus on hitting your marks and hitting your apex. Obviously, you're not really concerned about aerodynamics in an off-road truck, track, but just the ability to just focus on what's going on ahead of you and not having a million other trucks just all over the place. It's huge, and that's a good chunk of how he's able to build such a big lead is focus on what's in front and who cares what's going on behind you. All the stuff that's going on behind you.
Big slip up there in the big bank turn for Josh Heggie, and that puts him right in the lap of Sean Winkler. Driver 720 looking to take advantage here.
Now, I thought I saw it when we were watching Herbie. Is Connor Berry in the pits? Or am I just seeing things?
No,
yeah, he's on pit.
You are right. Connor Berry's on pit road, and again, I'm not showing a crash. So I have no idea what's happened to Connor Berry. Maybe just going to call it a night here. So this is Heggie right in front of Winkler, who is, right in front of Edmondson. Heggie's had some problems here getting, I guess, around the whip section or through it, however you want to look at it. Greg Johnson 1.3 seconds up the road here. But laps are ticking away. Three laps to go. Joey Herbie. His lead is also slipping away here. It was 10.5. It's now 7.5. So he's had an issue somewhere as Heggie runs it wide and gets it up onto the left side tires. Here goes Winkler on the attack. Ooh. Slides up Just a little contact now. We'll have to try and take the long way around here into 3. No, he undercuts and swings underneath. Contact with Heggie. Contact with Edmondson. And now it's Edmondson who's going to send it through.
Oh, man.
Is he going to get a 2 for 1? A slide job on Heggie.
Wow.
2 laps to go. Edmondson now up to 3rd. Not done yet. Here's Winkler with a dive. Back to the inside. Still trying to get through on Heggie. And this time he'll take care of it.
What a move by Edmondson.
Here's Joey Herbie. He'll see the white flag this time. 7.5 seconds back to Greg Johnson. We haven't seen much of Herbie this race, so we're going to go with him here for the final lap. Well, we did not have much Derbian, as is the namesake of this race in round number 1. Round 2 has been nothing short of a derby. But after a clean opening lap, Joey Herbie is one set of corners away from victory number 1 in the Special Stage Pro Truck Series. Driver 53 goes P1. Joey Herbie is on the top step in round number 2 at Firebird. Straight into the fence he goes. Greg Johnson will hang on for second as a hard-charging Edmondson closes a second on him in the final lap. Edmondson on the podium, Winkler in 4th, Heggie in P5. And look at the destruction. These are just the trucks that finished. There were 4 that didn't. Whew! Golly.
Yeah, that race had everything.
Yes, it sure did, didn't it? I want to go back and find the drop of the green, and we can ride rear chase with your race winner and see how he was able to open up such a gap as... Oh, my God!
Oh, my goodness.
God.
It's rain and trucks. Hallelujah, it's rain and trucks.
All right, let's go rear chase here from the outside pole. We remarked he didn't get a good start. McDonough's going to throw a slider here, but it doesn't quite stick. That's going to open it up for Herbie. And that's Barry going off the track from the lead. I mean, drops straight to the rear. And then look at them all pile in here.
Oh, apparently his computer froze in the first race, and he has no microphone because of that, so it does not look like we'll get an interview with our Feature 2 winner.
Well, that stinks. But that was a good getaway. That's all it takes. So we'll go ahead and give you the full finishing rundown here, if SDK is going to cooperate anyway. Which, of course, it's not. Why would it? Okay, there we go. It is the win for Joey Herbie. Sounds like we're not going to get to talk to him. Joey, if you're listening, send me something that I can read, if you like, on the stream, and that'll suffice, I suppose. Greg Johnson will finish in second. Josh Edmondson, wicked drive back through the field in third. Sean Winkler in fourth. Josh Heggie in fifth. It's Joey Kirk, Joshua Matacek, Rodney Matney, Matt Schlosser, and Mladen Lankovic. The rest of the top 10. Colin McDonough in 11th. Victor Aldrich in 12th. And DNFs for Connor Berry, Ryan Dye, and Stephen C. Thompson. So it is time for the interview train here. We'll go ahead and pull up runner-up finisher from round number 1. Little quack there from Sean Winkler.
Yeah, hey, Tommy.
Welcome back to the booth. Solid run to start the night. Boy, it went south in in a hurry here in round number 2, just in turn number 3. That was a wild one.
Yeah, that was a wild one. Wasn't planning on that. That turn stacks up pretty tight, and I think I got kind of hit from behind, and then I spun around, and it looks like Josh and I's truck kind of got stuck together, and I couldn't shake them, and tried to break free, so that cost us a lot of time. Definitely.
How did you work to overcome that? I mean, you were still able to make passes and daring attempts there throughout the race, even with trying to keep Edmondson and Barry behind you there for the majority of round number 2. I mean, how were you able to kind of get back on the horse?
Well, you just got to forget about it. You just kind of shake the truck loose and get going in the right direction, and then that corner's in the past. It's done. Nothing you can do about it, so you just put your head down and dig and drive as fast as you can. So, I know I have some decent speed here, not as fast as Connor or Josh, but good enough to kind of hang with them. So I just put the pedal to the metal and tried to break free or keep my spot as good as I could. Had a little traffic there with P3 with 2 laps to go, and then Josh was able to get around us there, and that was all she wrote on that end of it. But happy with where I finished up overall. I think it was okay night for sure.
James, what you got?
Yeah, so just take us through trying to make a pass here, because I know we talk a lot about, how difficult it is trying to make passes at a lot of these tracks, and this one to me has always been one of the worst ones. So do you have any type of strategy you're looking for trying to get by someone you're battling here?
Yeah, good question. I think, when I'm trying to set up a pass, obviously the easy way to do it is just slam someone out of the way, but that's not really good racecraft. So what I'm trying to do is see if I can get a run on somebody, like maybe back it up a little bit and then get a run out of a corner. And if I have enough momentum and I can get the inside, then I can kind of ship it up and make a clean pass, or maybe even over under somebody, like going into turn 3 there. If you see that they're maybe going to shoot wide in that corner, kind of enter wide and cut down low inside of them and then get a run out of the corner. So it's either get some momentum out of a corner and get a run next to them, or over under them and make a pass. So those are really the 2 strategies I kind of use when I'm trying to set something up here. Not a lot of room, but that's what I try to do.
Well, quite the night here, that's for sure, especially after missing a wild one last week as well. Great to get to talk to you here at the end of the night once again. Let's get some shout-outs before we let you go.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Want to thank Racecraft Academy, obviously, for letting me drive for those guys, and NLR and Real Broker, and appreciate you guys again for putting on a stream. Yeah, I had another league I was in last week, so sorry I couldn't make it out, but good to be back here. Good to be talking to you, Tommy and James. Pleasure. Thanks for putting on the broadcast. Looks like your weather held out for you, and your stream didn't go down, so that's good news.
Yeah, not yet.
That's nice to see. Yeah, good. And again, all the fans out there watching, everybody watching this, appreciate it. Like I said before, this is one of the more affordable series on iRacing to drive. You only need to buy a couple trucks and a couple tracks, and you can make your money back in a year. So buy the trucks, buy the tracks, come out here and send it. It's super fun. It's the best racing on the sim, I got to say.
Lots of sending it here tonight. Lots of fantastic battling all night long. Congrats on a solid night of racing here at Firebird, and we'll hopefully talk to you again next week at Brands Hatch.
Hope so. Oh, Brands Hatch. Yep. Thanks, Tommy. We'll see you next time. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Let's talk to your round 2 runner-up here. It's Greg Johnson, driver 150, up in booth 200 here tonight. And, boy, what a wild night of racing. Congrats on the podium, though.
Thank you. Thank you very much, man. I would like to say that was actually one of the better races for such a tight course, and, the high competitive rate here. I
mean, James and I were remarking after the first race, it certainly could have gone worse. In round number 2, it still wasn't a total catastrophe, especially for you. You were able to stay ahead of all the madness there and keep your eyes down and your head forward and drive away from everything that was going on behind you. That's got to be a more welcome sight to know that it's all happening in the rear view.
That's right. I was just speaking to Josh about that too. Actually, a lot of these guys have some incredibly fast pace, like Josh and Sean. They pulled up through the field after it was starting to get tough back there. So, kudos to those guys. But, again, I was just trying to run my own laps. This is how I do it. Basically, whatever I qualify or practice at, that's what you're going to see out of me every week.
James, what you got?
So we talked on the broadcast a lot about the difficulty of the whoop section here going into the final corner. Just take the folks at home through your strategy on how you try to tackle the whoops and minimize your time loss.
The thing about that whoop section is it's just after the apex in turn 3. So I feel that if you can carry a little bit more speed, like if you literally have like about 0.4 or 0.5 of a second behind, or with the guy behind you, you can pull yourself out a little bit further and carry a little bit more speed through the berm. It may slow you down for a second as that car closes on you, but as you leave there, you will be easily able to click up into third gear again and just carry the gas lightly through the edge of the whoops there. And as you come around the corner, you won't actually be floored onto the gas and on the rev limiter of your engine and stuff like that. And as you straighten out, you'll actually be able to, again, pull out a little more time on the straightaway there over the main jump.
Well, it's great to get to talk to you here tonight. Congrats on a podium finish here tonight at Firebird. All the advice that you were given at the start of the race for other folks, looks like you heated it well yourself here to get yourself the silver medal here this evening. So let's get some shout-outs for you before we let you go.
Definitely Team Watson Racing, and again, my whole family, and especially my brother Jeff. He races with Team Watson Racing too, and yeah, we just, get along, and Sean and all the other teams too. And again, I'll shout out to the guys, yourself, and the people who put the series on. And that's about all I can say. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, partner. Congrats on a strong run here tonight, and let's do it again next week. What do you say?
You betcha. We're trying to get up into the top 3 in this season at the end of the thing. It's going to be tough. There's a lot of good racers.
Well, you're well on your way, partner. We'll hopefully talk to you again next week.
Thank you.
Now let's talk to winner of round number 1 for the 4th time this season and a hard charge through the field to get up to P3 there in the final round of the night. It's Josh Edmondson back in booth 200. Congrats on another win in the opening round. We'll start there, I guess, because that one was a little more straightforward, clean getaway, and just kind of being the engine at the front of the train there, keeping them all behind you.
Yeah, thanks, Tommy. Yeah, that was a good race. It was nice to qualify pole that time and start up front and just focus on going forward. I was having a little bit of difficulty though overheating the truck. I had to kind of start lifting in the air and other places where I wasn't, just to kind of cool it down. The alarm light kept coming on, so I was trying to manage that. And then I saw Connor go for moving the whoops, which is really hard to do in these trucks without the power, and made a mistake. So yeah, that first race was good.
I mean, you had to feel comfortable in the first race, knowing how hard it is to make passes here, and then to go around and flip that feeling on its head in round number 2 without even taking into account how your turn 3 went on this track. I mean, hard to make passes, and all of a sudden you found yourself having to do a lot of it real quick.
Yeah, that I was trying to be cautious, and then I knew going to the inside was a risk there, and it just piled up, and Sean and my truck got hooked up and kind of spun me around. So yeah, I had to come through the field with a little extra damage and a little spread out, but it was all good. It was all fun. The pass on Sean and I don't know if it was, I don't think it was Joey or somebody, but that one was awesome because I saw them kind of get together and I just went full send into the whoops, kind of like what Connor tried to do, and thankfully I didn't crash and made the pass. That was awesome.
That was a great pass, and I think this is the first time we've seen much damage on this Team 199 truck as well. So, James, what you got here?
Yeah, so we talked about the different lines you could take in turn 1, with how wide it is. So kind of fill in for the folks at home what your thought process is on which line you want to take through here in turn 1.
Oh man, turn 1 you can get a good run off the bank if you can get out onto the bank, but it's really sketchy because it's the closer you land to that dirt bank off the tabletop, the better you're set up for it. But if you clip your wheel on it, it breaks your wheel and ends your race. So it's a little risky to get too close to it, but you can definitely gain a lot of time off the exit if you can get up onto that banking and kind of cut down off of it and carry a bunch of momentum.
Well, it all comes at you fast here at Firebird, as you found out here in round number 2. But fantastic stuff. Like you said, great passes, not just the one that got you up to third there, but, bold, brave passes to get up through traffic as well. Fantastic stuff here. Congrats on the win and the podium. Let's get some shout-outs for you before we let you go.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, definitely shout out you guys for doing the broadcast. These have been awesome to go back and watch. And Matt for putting on the league, and everybody at the Channel 199 Sim Racing team, and the sponsors there, Track Racer, Pimax VR, Apex Gaming PCs, and Racecraft.
Alrighty, partner. Thanks for the time here tonight. Congrats on win number 4 on the season, and we'll hopefully talk to you again next week in Brands Hatch.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Oh boy! I mean, we're watching it here in quarter speed from the chase cam. I mean, you say it comes at you fast, but I'm overstimulated just watching it here, just little by little. I mean, he had to absolutely slog through this field here at a brisk pace to get himself up to third. So well done to him and to Sean as well. And congrats to Joey Herbie. I was hoping he would send me a message here. And we could relay it on the air. But if we get one before we go off, we'll give Joey the time here from the top step. Congrats to him, regardless, on his first win with the Special Stage Pro Truck Series. James, anything to wrap up a pretty fun night here from Firebird?
Yeah, that was definitely one of the most exciting nights we dealt with. That had to have been like the biggest wreck we've seen all season long. So it still led to a great race and a lot of great battles up and down the field. So it was a real cool night, all things considered.
Definitely was a cool night, and we'll be headed across the pond to Brands Hatch, the Rallycross course, next week with the multiple heat races into a feature. So excited for that format to be making a comeback. We'll see it a couple more times here before the season is out. Headed to Sonoma in a few weeks' time as well. So excited for some Rallycross action here in the next few weeks. Thanks to the folks that were hanging out with us here tonight. The Monachecks were here, Bailey Marie and Robin, and shout out to Stickers McQueen as always. Thank you if you were watching, whether you were chatting with us or not. We greatly appreciate it. Lots of racing action between tonight and next Friday. It's the penultimate race of Truck 200 from Talladega Super Speedway. It's the Truck 200 edition of the Layton River Ellison Memorial, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday. Tuesday night, the Venom Truck Series, and I keep forgetting where they are going off the top of my head. Not sure. It's Nashville Super Speedway. I did this last night, too. The King's Court, back in action next Tuesday night, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time for that one. Thursday night, the Max V CNC Home Design Truck Series. Not going to forget this one because it's going to be like tonight, but on steroids. They're in Martinsville next week. Come out for some hot dogging next Thursday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, before we hit the track at Brands Hatch next Friday for Special Stage Pro Truck Series. And again, if you're interested in joining the Joker season of Special Stage, that'll be on JCTV with our friend Olivia Hayward. Hop in our Discord. We'll get you pointed in the right direction to come up and join for some IndyCar Super Speedway racing. It'll be a blast. Looking forward to that. That's all we got for you here tonight on behalf of everybody with the Special Stage Pro Truck Series. On behalf of the folks that helped make it happen, Team Watson Racing Setups, as well as SimRap Guy. Thanks to Matt Schlosser as well. And thank you to all of our partners here on Turn 200. And thanks to my partner here tonight, Mr. James Watson, on behalf of him. And my name is Tommy Cook. And from Firebird Motorsports Park, congratulations to Josh Edmondson and Joey Herbie, your 2 winners here this evening. Have a good night, everybody. This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.